Good evening. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Good evening and welcome to the Thursday, December 18th, 2025, meeting of the City of the Worcester Historical Commission. My name is Diane Long and I'll be chairing tonight's meeting. Before we begin, I have a few brief announcements concerning how our meeting will proceed tonight. Tonight's meeting is a hybrid format, which means that attendees may participate in person here at City Hall or remotely. You may log in via computer by going to worcestermass.zoom.gov/J/160-487-3519, entering access code 160-487-3519 in the Zoom application, or by calling in at 1-669-254-5252 and entering access code 160-487-3519. To manage remote participation during our hybrid meetings and prevent disruptions, all participants are automatically blocked from unmuting themselves, turning on their video, or sending chat messages. For remote participants who would like to comment on an item on the agenda, we ask that you use the raise hand feature in Zoom during the discussion on that item. If you are joined by phone, you can raise your hand by pressing *9. Staff will then call on members of the public one at a time and give them permission to unmute themselves. If you are joined by phone, you will then be able to unmute yourself by pressing *6. This is a public meeting, which means both that it is being recorded and that minutes will be taken and published at a later date. To help with this process, we ask all speakers participating in person to use a microphone. Please clearly identify yourself each time you speak, and the first time you speak, please state your city or town of residence for the record. To help maintain an orderly meeting, please address all comments and questions through the chair rather than directly to any of the other speakers or applicants. If you are here for an item that will be postponed or continued, please note that no additional notice will be sent to you before the next meeting. The best thing to do is to call the planning department the day prior to our next meeting to confirm if the item will be heard or postponed that night. Once an item is called, there will be a brief presentation of the item, followed by any additional comments and clarifications from members of the city staff, then an opportunity for anyone from the public to speak on the item before we proceed to board discussion and action. Please also note that all approval votes will be by roll call tonight when the time comes. I'll begin with a roll call of the Commission and City staff. Commissioner Thurman?
Here.
Commissioner Helnarski?
Through you, Madam Chair. It looks like she just unmuted. Erica? We can't hear you. I can see you're trying to speak. Just continue in the roll call.
All right.
And we'll come back to it.
Commissioner Andre? Here. Commissioner Burnett?
Here.
Commissioner Northway?
Here.
Commissioner Santos Restivo?
Here.
Commissioner Gutierrez Lavoti?
Here.
Commissioner Long? Here. Is Erica on yet? Can we hear her yet? All right. Michelle Johnstone?
Here.
Cameron?
Here.
So, through you, Madam Chair, if you just give me a second, I'll see if I can get Commissioner Helnarski configured. Otherwise, we can move on. So if we just pause for a second. Erica, I see that you unmuted yourself. Can you try speaking? We still can't hear you. I'm going to go ahead and unmute somebody else just to make sure we're not having issue with the Zoom. So Andrew, I just unmuted you. Can you try speaking? Yeah, there's an issue with the Zoom because we can't hear somebody else that's logged in via Zoom either.
Okay.
So if you could just call like a 3-minute recess so we can try to get it figured out and then we'll move on.
All right, I'm going to call a recess for 3 minutes and see if we can fix the issue with the Zoom.
I thought she'd have a meltdown, but she didn't.
Now it is. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to, I think the sound's going through now, so I'm going to unmute Erica again. Erica, can you?
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, there was lots and lots of feedback before.
Okay, all right, so Diane, you can uncall the recess. Call the meeting back to order.
Meeting is called back into order. And welcome. Okay, Commissioner Helnarski.
Here.
Thank you. All right, we're going to begin with old business, which is item number 1, 266 Webster Street. Is the petitioner here or online?
So through you, Madam Chair, the person is not in the room. I have a bunch of people online. If anybody is here for 266 Webster Street, if you could please use the raise hand feature, I can unmute you. Seeing no one, you can go ahead and hold this till the end.
Oh, okay. On to new business. Item number 2, we have 10 Regent Street, which is requesting a certificate of non-applicability for windows and a few other things, in-kind materials. Is the petitioner here or online? Hi, come on up to one of the microphones. Can you introduce yourself?
Good evening. My name is Steve Farr. I live at 159 Laurel Drive in Needham, and I am a representative of the Alumni Board of the Gamma Sigma chapter of ATO at WPI.
We've seen you before, right?
There has been another representative, his name's Bob Steele, that you may have
That must
met
be
with
it.
in the past.
All right, so you're continuing with the windows in the building, but not the original building, not the original windows that are lined in red. Is that correct?
Correct. The windows that are outlined in red are to be retained and not disturbed.
Okay. And the windows that you're replacing are going to match those that we've approved in the past?
Correct.
Okay. Does anybody have a question on this? All right, we don't need to open this for public comment, so I'll ask for a motion for a certificate of non-applicability for 10 Regent Street.
The commission finds that the proposed changes at 10 Regent Street consisting of replacing windows to match existing replacement windows is not under the jurisdiction of the commission and therefore approves their certificate of non-applicability.
Seconded.
Thank you.
And we do have a full commission tonight, so the alternate will not be voting. But on that motion, Commissioner Holnarski,
Yes.
Commissioner Andre?
Yes.
Commissioner Santos Restivo?
Yes.
Commissioner Northway?
Yes.
Commissioner Burnett?
Yes.
Commissioner Thierman?
Yes.
Chair Long?
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. And moving on to item number 3, we have a request for a building demo delay waiver to demolish a garage in full at 28 Clement Street. Hi.
Hi, I'm Bruce Starr, co-owner.
And what is going on with this garage?
So we purchased the property in 2019. The house structurally was in fair condition, although we did renovate completely the roof and the siding. We had not really had a plan for the garage, but the deterioration of it made it pretty obvious that structurally it's not sound. We used it for storage of debris. Not sure how this picture there is debris waiting for pickup there now in front of the garage. But you can see that we did nicely renovate the house. But the block structure of the garage, if you see the condition of it in the subsequent pages, not sure exactly how these pages are organized, but you can see a photo of the block structure from the rear, which is very deteriorated, and the concrete blocks are literally just, they're just deteriorating very rapidly. The page where you see several open joints where somebody has tried to put some patching material, but it's not adequate, and you can see daylight from several places inside the garage. What really made it much more urgent over the summer was one of the main beams collapsed, and I think it's the final picture showing the interior garage where that beam is collapsing.
Right.
Oddly enough, the last layer of tar paper, or I should say roll roofing, is still, if you look at it from above, it doesn't look that bad. You can see a gap, but the structure underneath that is collapsing. And should this building collapse, it will collapse into the two neighbors' yards behind it. It's very dangerous. And the letter from the contractor is there stating that he also feels that it's dangerous. This property was a investment strategy for my retirement, and we're occupier. We occupy the property and own it, and we try to set the standard for the neighborhood to make sure everything looks good. This is not something where we don't have big pockets, and our main need is for parking. We've decided within the last 3 years, as we have been renting, most of our tenants have multiple vehicles, and the garage is not adequate for the parking needs of the current, generation. And we will be able to use some of the rest of the space in the rear to make more parking spaces for our tenants.
So you're not going to rebuild a garage, it's just going to be,
That is, the current plan is we just need the parking spaces more than anything else.
does anybody in the commission have questions about this demo?
A quick one.
Sure.
This garage was built at the same time as the house?
I don't think we've quite been able to determine that. As you see, it says background of property constructed between 1932 and 1936. It could have been part of the original construction, although it is different from, it's built differently than the home. So I don't think we really know. I think it was modified over the years, and so whatever it was originally, it's not currently that. And we haven't, the garage at the back of a property, we haven't been able to really find any documentation.
So through you, Madam Chair, I do have a historic atlas of the property from 1922 when the house was already on the site. The garage was not there. The garage appeared on a Sanborn Fire Insurance map in 1936, so it does slightly postdate the house.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. All right, if there are no other questions, we can open it up to public comment. Hearing none, I'll ask a motion to close public comment.
I'll make a motion to close public comment.
Seconded?
And on that motion, Commissioner Holnarski,
Yes.
Commissioner Andre,
Yes.
Commissioner Santos Restivo,
Yes.
Commissioner Northway,
Yes.
Commissioner Burnett,
Yes.
Commissioner Thierman,
Yes.
Chair Long.
Yes. And now may I have a motion for building demo delay waiver for the demolition of the garage at 28 Clement Street?
The commission finds that the proposed demolition at 28 Clemens Street, consisting of completely demolishing the garage due to its being structurally unsound, would not be detrimental to the historical or architectural resources of the city of Worcester.
Seconded?
And on that motion, Commissioner Holnarski,
Yes.
Commissioner Andre,
Yes.
Commissioner Santos Restivo,
Yes.
Commissioner Northway,
Yes.
Commissioner Burnett,
Yes.
Commissioner Thierman,
Yes.
Chair Long.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good luck with it. All right, moving on to item number 4. We have 55 East Worcester Street, a request for a lot of different work, some in kind, though in this instance, we may be looking at a leave to withdraw. Is the petitioner here or online?
My name's Andrew Ulrich. I own 55 East Worcester Street. My current address is 97 Pierce Ave in Dorchester, Mass.
All right. And your plan is to renovate this building?
So we're doing the interior, we're doing the kitchens and the bathrooms and then some repair work. The exterior of the building obviously needs some work, but we're gonna try to replace, I believe there's 8 original windows, and the rest of the house is vinyl. So we'd be looking to, and so some of the vinyl windows are inoperable, 2 or 3 of them. So we'd be looking to match, I believe there's 25 windows in total, or 23 or something. And we'd be looking to match, replace the wooden windows with the white vinyl. We also have some exterior trim, soffit, and fascia work, and we'd be looking to do the work to that with like in-kind materials, and also repairing whatever siding needed to be repaired with the same.
Okay. Thank you.
As well as, as well as patching the roof and repairing areas that, when we bought it, they had done the roof, they said, but there are areas that need work.
Okay. Looking at the building, it does not appear that it retains any original integrity. I would suggest that we move to withdraw without prejudice. How does the commission feel? Would you prefer a vote or,
Withdraw.
Hmm?
Withdraw without prejudice.
okay.
So through you, Madam Chair, just to the applicant, so you have an understanding of what's going on. We use the Macris list in Worcester as our National Register eligible list, which is the reason why you're before the commission tonight. If buildings come up that are clearly ineligible for listing in the National Register or lack integrity sufficient for listing. In this case, we have a building with a replacement roof. Looks like a third story was added at some point. You got replacement siding, and any decorative fabric has been removed. The Historical Commission can issue a leave to withdraw rather than voting on the item, and you won't have to come to the Historical Commission in the future.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, then may I have a motion to withdraw?
The commission finds that 55 Worcester Street.
East
no-
Worcester.
East Worcester Street no longer retains integrity sufficient for the listing in the National Register of Historic Places and hereby issues a leave to withdraw without prejudice.
Seconded?
And on that motion, Commissioner Helnarski,
Yes.
Commissioner Andre,
Yes.
Commissioner Santos Restivo,
Yes.
Commissioner Northway,
Yes.
Commissioner Burnett,
Yes.
Commissioner Thurman,
Yes.
Chair Long.
Yes.
All right, you're all set.
Thank you. And moving on to item number 5, we have a request for a certificate of appropriateness and a building demo delay waiver for 84 Chatham Street in the Crown Hill Local Historic District. Is the petitioner here or online?
So through you, Madam Chair, I'll go ahead and ask the applicant to unmute.
Good evening. My name is Tim Ma. I'm the owner of 84 Chatham Street.
Hi, can you tell us what you need to do here?
Yeah, our primary goal is to insulate the house. So we work with the Mass Save program and trying to put the proper insulation to the home. And the house right now has no insulation at all. And in order to putting the insulation to the attic, the contract insists there's definitely a need to put some air vent to make sure there's no mold or moisture problems by applying any insulation. That's why the bare minimum work we're looking for in this insulation project is based on the program suggestions, is putting one 12-inch turbine vent on the roof.
Okay.
In the middle of the house, yeah.
And this appears to be a hip roof, although the pictures that I was looking at earlier, you can't see it.
No.
Yeah, because the elevation is pretty high. It's on top of the hill.
It is.
It's hard from, yeah. But
All
that's the imagery copy of the house from Google Maps, so that
This is-
reflects the fact.
Most likely, it will be seen very little, if at all. Okay, then, does anybody have any questions on this project?
Just confirming that's the only thing you're doing to the exterior?
Yes, that's the only thing.
Very good.
Great. All right, we can open it up for any public comment. Hearing none, I will make a motion to close public comments.
Second.
And on that motion, Commissioner Helnarski, She might have muted herself. Hold on. No. Commissioner Helnarski? Commissioner Gutierrez-Lavoti? Eric, I can't get Erica, so you're voting on this one. So, yes. Commissioner Andre?
Yes.
Commissioner Santos Restivo?
Yes.
Commissioner Northway?
Yes.
Commissioner Burnett?
Yes.
Commissioner Thierman?
Yes.
Chair Long?
Yes. And let's start with the certificate of appropriateness.
The commission finds that the proposed changes at 84 Chatham Street, consisting of installing a roof vent, are appropriate for the Crown Hill Local Historic District.
Seconded.
And on that motion, Commissioner Gutierrez-Lavoti?
Yes.
Commissioner Andre?
Yes.
Commissioner Santos Restivo?
Yes.
Commissioner Burnett?
Yes.
Commissioner Northway?
Yes.
Commissioner Thierman?
Yes.
Chair Long?
Yes. And may I have a motion for a building demo delay waiver for the same?
The commission finds that the proposed demolition at 84 Chatham Street, consisting of installing a roof vent, would not be detrimental to the historical or architectural resources of the city of Worcester.
Seconded.
Commissioner Gutierrez-Lavoti?
Yes.
Commissioner Andre?
Yes.
Commissioner Santos Restivo?
Yes.
Commissioner Northway?
Yes.
Commissioner Burnett?
Yes.
Commissioner Thierman?
Yes.
Chair Long?
Yes. Thank you very much. All right, on to other business. We will begin with in item A, which is an invitation to comment on 3106 projects. The first two, 11 Stonehouse Lane and 30 Tatman Street. I would suggest no comment. However, for 38 and 46 Herman Street, I would suggest that we at least have some conversation on this. Did everybody have a chance to take a look at, there's a drawing, this garage is going to be demolished, and there's a drawing that, of an apartment building that's going to be put in its place. So the massing will certainly be quite different in the neighborhood than it is currently. Is the petitioner here?
So through you, Madam Chair, no.
Okay.
The petitioner, or the proponent of this project submitted a project notification form to MHC, and the city's housing division sent the PNF to you as the certified local government. So the question is do you have comments on this project? Of course, there is the loss of a historic building, but aside from that, there's also the design of what is being built in its place that you need to consider as certified local government here. So right now, you know that two buildings are going to be demolished. One is older than the other, so the garage is older. If I go to the historic maps, you can see in 1922, nothing was there yet. Houses were there, but eventually those were demolished. By 1936, the garage was constructed, but sometime between 1949 and 1969, that white structure to the left of the garage was constructed. So you have essentially two buildings that are interconnected that will be demolished, and then they will be replaced with this building here. So you get these all the time. You get project notification forms that you look at. Most of the time, they're antennas or windows or what have you. A couple times a year, you'll get something like this, if that. So given the absence of any actual architectural drawings for you to examine, you should, in my opinion, you should request additional information from the proponent.
All right.
Because you can't
We
make-
can request some actual architectural drawings And you can reach out to them and?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, it's my opinion that you can't make a determination based on an artist's rendition in a brochure.
Right.
So, I mean, you don't know really what's going there, you can't look at the cladding materials, and that's all part of Section 106, is making sure that something appropriate is constructed there.
Right. So in this instance, I would suggest reaching out to try to get more information for us to be able to determine if it's appropriate.
Okay, so I can do that. Do you have any first blush comments of what you see that I can share with the proponent? I know Commissioner Burnett, you work with Section 106, so if you have anything, if anybody else has anything that they want to share, just in my initial communication with the proponent, I can do so, or you can simply ask for a full set of architectural drawings for us to examine. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'd be interested in you asking what when in their process or application to the MHC, have they planned for the possibility of archaeological monitoring and/or excavation at the site, and what their plan for that is?
Okay.
And if they've thought about that or not.
Okay, yeah, so I know in the project notification form, they never called that out specifically, so that is something good. I can include that in my letter to them, because I know the tribes a lot of times want to get involved too.
Yes.
So, anybody else?
Are the renderings supposed to be, is that the same building, just different facades?
Yeah, it's different elevations, so it goes basically from Herman Street through to Charlton Street.
Okay.
It's a very large building.
Yeah.
It's going to change that neighborhood quite dramatically.
Along
Doesn't look
those
like the same
lines,
building.
Can it more represent that time period to what the neighborhood was?
Yeah, that's all what's, I know we don't do Section 106 very often, but that's kind of what it is, especially, like, it's different, like, if somebody's clearing a site, you're really just looking at whether or not the demolition of the buildings is detrimental to historic resources, or if there's an adverse effect. But in this case, federal funding is being used to demolish and construct a new building. So we need to make sure that the building fits within the character of the neighborhood. So, yeah.
Excellent.
So I can share what has been said, and then we'll ask for a full set of architectural drawings to look at, and then we'll go from there. I'll also reach out to our partners at MHC.
Perfect, thank you. Do you need a motion or anything for that?
No.
Okay. All right, and moving on to item number B, we have a request from Ryan Inc. for updated letters of support for LaGrange Street, Grove Street, Chestnut Street, and Salisbury Street. I will make a motion that we supply the updated letters.
Second.
And I'm just waiting to see if Commissioner Holnarski will unmute. Commissioner Holnarski?
Yes.
Commissioner Andre?
Yes.
Commissioner Santos Restivo?
Yes.
Commissioner Northway?
Yes.
Commissioner Burnett?
Yes.
Commissioner Thierman?
Yes.
Chair Long?
Yes. Item number C is also a request from PAL Inc. for updated letters of support for 70 Winter, 21 Cedar, 390 Main, 15 Herman, and 16 Salisbury Street. I'll make a motion to supply those updated letters as well.
Second.
And on that motion, Commissioner Holnarski?
Yes.
Commissioner Andre?
Yes.
Commissioner Santos Restivo?
Yes.
Commissioner Northway?
Yes.
Commissioner Burnett?
Yes.
Commissioner Thierman?
Yes.
Chair Long?
Yes. Item number D, we have a request from Heritage Consulting for an updated letter of support for One Exchange Place. I'll make a motion that we also give them an updated letter.
Second.
And on that motion, Commissioner Holnarski?
Yes.
Commissioner Andre?
Yes.
Commissioner Santos Restivo?
Yes.
Commissioner Northway?
Yes.
Commissioner Burnett?
Yes.
Commissioner Thierman?
Yes.
Chair Long?
Yes. All right, now moving on to, the next three items are the new aspect that we have on the commission, finding buildings, or sometimes not buildings, to determine if there is local historical significance in order for them to apply for the new CPC funding in the city. So we will begin with 1 New Bond Street, which is, of course, the Norton Company. The Norton Company murals, which is in the administrative building on the campus. And, hi.
Hi,
I saw you from there.
how's everyone?
How are you?
Good, thank you. My name is Roberta Bryan. I'm the Executive Vice President of the Worcester Business Development Corporation. We and our nonprofit, New Garden Park, now own the administration building that we're discussing today. Just a little history, and I think it's probably captured in the slides. Worcester Business Development Corporation has been around for 60 years, since 1965, with a mission of 2 points: creating jobs and expanding the tax base, and we do that in adding value into real estate projects. So we have a wide history throughout Worcester. We've created about 19,000 jobs, I believe, 11,000 jobs and about $19 million in tax revenues annually for the communities in which we've worked. We, in 2022, acquired 51 acres from Saint-Gobain, which was former Norton Company development. That development in the north section of Worcester encompassed about 100 acres. Saint-Gobain acquired Norton Company in the 90s. Norton Company had been around since the 1800s, beginning in the Canal District, and then moving into that area of Greendale, and really growing and flourishing there, probably building close to 2 million square feet throughout its history until the 90s, and then when Saint-Gobain took over, built some more modern manufacturing buildings on the southern side. We had been in discussions with Saint-Gobain for about 8 years before we acquired about 50 acres from them in 2022. Norton Company was so critically important to the city of Worcester, really surrounding areas as well, but the development that it did in the city of Worcester, the jobs that it created, the housing developments that it also created for the people that worked there, and just the good jobs that it created in all aspects, from technical to non-technical. If you talk to anyone that had worked at Norton Company or had family that worked at Norton Company, really they were an early Google of our day, truly embodying a spirit and a care for their workers and of their neighborhood and environment as well. They were critical to important industries like the aerospace industry as well as the automobile industry. And I believe that legacy is what led Saint-Gobain to the acquisition of that company and the continued global effort to bring those products to other countries as well. Within the Norton Hall administration building, within the administration building is Norton Hall, of which Saint-Gobain has continued to care for and utilize in its history of owning that building. It was originally in a series of artwork, 10 murals that were painted on the walls by an artist, Arthur Covey, who was sought out for his representation of industrial art and industrial manufacturing and workforce. And Saint-Gobain has been good stewards of that artwork up until yesterday, when they vacated the administration building because they have built a new building on the southern side of that campus. So that building and those murals are now sort of a joint effort between some groups that we've assembled. Certainly Saint-Gobain remains at the table and committed to finding a home for those murals. Preservation Worcester is here in support of that effort as well. The Worcester Art Museum has indicated their support for finding a home for those murals and also offering conservator services to the preservation and removal of those murals on the wall. So we're here today because these murals are critically important. They do represent, the history of manufacturing that Norton Company did, and we want to find a way to try to preserve them. And due to that preservation effort, we have to raise some funds. To date, St-Gobain has contributed a certain dollar amount to that effort. WBDC has contributed a dollar amount to that effort as well, and we have more to raise. It's a pretty specific effort to remove those, cut those murals away from the walls, protect the front of them, and then be able to put them in boxes to ship them to a location where they'll be more specifically conserved, and then relocated, hopefully, to the Art Museum in a more visible place. Right now, the murals are on the 4th floor of Norton Hall in the administration building, and have not been accessible to anyone really than if you worked in that for that company. Your name was put on that wall if you worked there for 25 years or more. And those murals in that room was the area where people were celebrated for their contributions to Norton Company. And then St-Gobain, they took on that tradition as well, if you had worked there for 25 years or more. So the CPA funds will help us begin our public fundraising campaign to preserve the murals. The Art Museum has assisted us in finding conservators that are very familiar with this work, that can do this work. And their interest in it lies in the fact that historically, since the Art Museum and Norton Company were around for a similar amount of time, had a very close relationship with many of the boards of directors, people on the boards of directors for Norton Company also being on the board of directors for the Art Museum. The Art Museum feels as though this gift to them would also fill a niche that they don't currently have, especially of American industrial art in their art museum. So we feel like we've really completed the circle here. Great pieces of art, a great local home, connective history between the two organizations. So truly appreciative of that. So our request tonight is designation, historic designation, local historic designation of these murals, recognizing that is critical for our application for the community preservation funds to go through, and recognizing that our partnership with the Art Museum will tie that funding to the murals wherever they may be, whether they're in the Lancaster Room, in the Art Museum, or in another area of the Art Museum, or ideally, if we can also preserve some other aspects within that room, we would make sure that that preservation exists regardless of where the murals end up in the future. We, just a little history on our relationship, WBDC, with the Historic Commission. After our acquisition of the property in 2022, we did sign an MOA with the Historic Commission, as well as some federal funding agencies that have provided funding to us, recognizing that a portion of that site of the 50 acres, certain buildings have been demolished, and that there is a preservation effort underway to preserve the administration building, as well as the 200 series of buildings along Route 12, West Boylston Street. So we remain committed to that attempted preservation for those buildings. We have been active, certainly as part of the MOA, and having meetings with the Historic Commission, selecting artifacts for display in a dedication area that will be public to the site, a public part of the site, and continued advocacy for the preservation of in particular, right now we're working on the administration building. So we had a construction company come in 2019 and give us a cost estimate to bring the core and shell up to today's standards and codes. We'll have that updated. In 2019, that was $40 million. The building is about 125,000 square feet. And then we're also beginning a market study for a hotel. So we're hoping to renovate the building that would accommodate a hotel, of which none exists. in the northern section of that city. So we'll continue to update the Historic Commission on our efforts and provide you the information that we've gathered. Our timeline to date, given that St. Gobain has moved out, we feel we have probably about 24 months in order to complete fundraising and attempt to remove the murals from the walls and protect them and preserve them before the cost of operating a vacant building just becomes too much, or within that time if we have tried every effort to preserve the building. So we feel comfortable in about 24 months. We will have a lot more information. We hope that this campaign, especially with the support from the Community Preservation Act, will truly be a boost to our public fundraising efforts. So happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you very much. And thank you for the work that you do. Obviously, I can't imagine that these aren't going to be approved for their historical significance, as would be the administrative building. You said that you're working for reuse of the building, and that there might be a hotel that's
Well-
going in?
So two things have to happen in order for reuse to occur. One, the cost estimates have to work in favor within a pro forma so that a developer for any use, whether it be office or a hotel or more of a light manufacturing use, that cost estimate could be absorbed into the pro forma, and that a developer and an end user could still manage to pay the price of the renovations and then still carry the building after that, that it wouldn't be over and above what it would be to demolish the building and build new. So that would be the first effort that a developer and end user would make, would be to compare the cost of demolition versus compare the cost of renovation and reuse. Obviously, looking at, all of the available programs that would help them do that. And then the second thing that we would have to do is that use viable in that space, and is that use viable in this area, which is why we've started with a market study for a hotel. We've had people walk through and tell us that the way that the project lays out, with a center corridor and offices on both sides, as well as an interior courtyard that allows light. So every hotel room, if you were to imagine it to be redeveloped that way, would have light. So the market study has to pan out that there's a demand for that type of use, and then the cost to renovate would be similar or not too much in excess as opposed to demolition and renovation. So we've started with a core shell number. We know what that is. Even if it's from 2019, we could just add value to it to bring it up to 6 years later. And then now we'll start a market study for a hotel use and try to marry those both together.
So that's just being started now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do we have a status meeting scheduled for the marketing of the building?
I don't believe we do, but I'm happy to, when the marketing study is complete, probably in first quarter of '26, to review both the cost estimate for core shell work as well as the hotel market study with you.
Yeah, would be very interested to see that. And taking a vote tonight to find the murals, and I would suggest the administrative building as well. That way the building would be available for CPC funding also, if you can find somebody interested in that reuse.
Appreciate that. We're a little hesitant to put any designation on the building right now, only because we are so early in the process, and our initial goal is truly preservation of the murals. I'm not sure, I agree that if the building were to be renovated, there probably is a benefit of it being designated historic, probably beyond what this commission's designation would be. We would probably have to go further and designate it in a more, in a state or a national way in order to receive tax credits, et cetera. So to put a preservation restriction or preservation designation on it now, I would want to think through and make sure that we're not hampering development in any way, because in my mind, redevelopment, in order for redevelopment to occur, there will have to be some changes that have to be made. I think if you remember when you walked through, right now ADA accessibility does not exist on the exterior of the building. There could be some elements that have to be changed on the exterior in order to accommodate accessibility and also accommodate new codes that haven't, that building hasn't been touched for 100 years. And I would just want to make sure that we're not putting a designation on it that would preclude those changes. So we would be preserving the building, but may have to make some modifications that may change what the exterior looks like. And I wouldn't want to preclude that and not be able to preserve the building, even if it was not in a completely historically accurate way.
I don't think that's what this designation would do, though.
I don't know.
Michelle, do you know?
So through you, Madam Chair, the answer is no. So what you would be voting on is whether or not the building is locally historically significant, which would give it the ability to go for CPC funding. It does nothing
Right.
else.
It doesn't get into any of the other details. That's a whole different process.
Correct.
So, I mean, for us tonight, I would suggest that we find the murals and the administrative building historically significant for use with any CPC funding. Does anybody on the commission have any thoughts or?
I have a question of
Yeah.
sorts. So the murals, you also talked about the plaques for those that have been there so many years. Would those travel with the murals?
The names that are currently on the walls, as well as the plaques that represent the employees that had served in wars, et cetera, have been photographed for archival quality and will be reproduced at the administration building in books. So right now, through the first, say, 100 years, the names on the walls exist to represent those that worked there for 25 years or more. When the wall space was taken up, they ended up transitioning all those remaining names to books. What Saint-Gobain is committed to do is put all the names in books, bind them professionally, and display them in their lobby of the new administration building. We don't have a location for all of the names on the walls or the plaques in memoriam to the war veterans. So we'd like to preserve them in a more archival, photographic way, and somehow find a way to display them for the public, but not the original artwork.
So I'm going to reinterpret that those plaques would not travel with the murals.
They will not travel with the murals as physical, in their physical sense that they have now today.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Is there a possibility that if, say, a hotel wanted to go in here, that they would be willing to go in maintaining these murals here without having to move them?
I think that's certainly something we would put on the table. Again, you recall the location on the fourth floor, sort of buried in the middle of the building, by which you have to go through that room to access other parts of the building, would make it more difficult. We would certainly talk through that possibility, talk through some ideas of what that room could potentially represent to a hotel, a sitting area, breakfast area. I think it would be easiest. Matthias is here from the Art Museum, and he may have some more details on the quality and condition of the murals as they exist today, not being in a temperature-controlled, humidity-controlled environment, one in which, for a number of years, people treated it not like pieces of art, but your living room, where there was harsh lighting and potentially smoking earlier on when that was allowed in office buildings. So I think we would have to weigh preserving the artwork and whether or not that could happen with them still being on the walls in a space that isn't humidity controlled like that.
I mean, they're beautiful. The room is beautiful. And You're right, people probably did smoke around them at one point.
I may have seen a picture or two with that.
But, I mean, they're still beautiful. The color is still vibrant, you know, they look great.
Yep.
I understand we have others here that would like to speak?
Yeah,
Thank you for
I have
the-
some questions.
Sure.
And I don't know which of the three of you these would be best answered by. But given the previous cost assessment to renovate the building in 2019, which you said was 40 million, and just the instincts, what is the likelihood of it being, of the building, of the administration building being preserved and turned into something else? If you had to kind of
Yeah.
think that right now at the moment.
I think it's a difficult building. It's a good building to renovate the way it's laid out. It appears as though it certainly could continue as an office building if there was such a market. It's harder to redevelop as any sort of light manufacturing. There would have to be a lot of interior demo, and the corridors and spaces would then be narrow because of the courtyard. So two things. I think it has limited reuse potential, especially given the fact that we're not doing housing on that site, out of respect for the manufacturers that we're hoping to bring to the area, as well as Saint-Gobain continuing to manufacture there. So it has really sort of two limited uses. I think a developer would have to come in with a real sense of duty in order to overlook the fact that it would be less expensive to demolish and then rebuild something. I think it depends on what you're going to build in its place. If it is of a similar, type and style of building with brick, which there's not a lot being built like that, today, then the numbers may be closer. If it's a sort of a less beautiful building and more utilitarian building, I think the numbers would be farther apart and harder to convince someone. So I'm giving it 50-50 at this point, knowing that a lot of abatement would have to occur to just rid the building of your typical materials that were used when it was constructed, and then the accessibility that doesn't exist today, inside as well as on the exterior of the building, as well as all new, roof, all new systems, all new wiring, all new plumbing. It's going to be a heavy lift.
Yeah, so it sounds somewhat, maybe 50-50 to you, somewhat unlikely. Let's say it is preserved as a hotel. You intimated that the room that the murals are currently in wouldn't be changed into hotel rooms, if kept as an open space and kept mostly. Does that seem to be a possibility?
I think, that would be our recommendation. I think also the hotel developer would have to look at, and I think they would, if they were going to preserve that building, that Norton Hall would be an excellent reason to preserve that building. So it would add to the character of a boutique hotel, one that truly does make you remember where you are, that you're not in just a generic hotel in any city, anywhere, that it really does have roots and would tie back to the community and the area. So I think that would weigh heavily in the developer's favor to keep that room and find a way to utilize it while also figuring out a path, around it and through it without disturbing that room.
Thank you. And then my last kind of question builds on that one, and might be also for the museum. If it is preserved and that room is preserved as it is there any thought to the possibility of moving the murals but creating facsimiles in their place to preserve the look of them while not the actual murals themselves?
We hadn't thought of that because, and I guess I would have to ask, maybe this is some investigation that we would have to do, is preserving them in place. I think we'd have to answer that question first, whether or not they could be preserved in place and then somehow protected, sealed, some sort of a barrier over them so that they couldn't be touched. I think that would be more effective than moving them and then creating something in its place, because I don't know that the building is as special without those murals in that room in it. Matthias, do you have, not to put you on the spot, but do you have any thoughts on preservation in place?
The downside of preservation in place would be that that it would not be publicly accessible in the same way that it would the panels would be at the Worcester Art Museum. So that would be another downside. You can't in the original location, you can't guarantee, and Roberta said that, the climate control that we would provide to extend the life of these murals.
And they're on an upper floor, right? With no
Fourth floor, yep.
handicap access as well, so you're limiting who could see them?
It's interesting, once...
May I
I'm
ask
sorry.
them to just introduce
Introduce,
themselves
sure.
so that everybody knows who's speaking? Sure.
Oh, sure,
Thank
sorry.
you.
Patrick Maloney, Executive Director, Preservation Worcester.
And Matthias Waschek, Executive Director of the Worcester Art Museum. I'm here accompanied by Karen Sherry, who sits over there, who's our curator of American art, and she can also speak to the art historical importance of the panels.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So for the accessibility, once you enter the building, there's a set of stairs, and then you enter into an area where there is an elevator that would get you up to the fourth floor, and then it's unencumbered access beyond that. We've not yet solved how to get from the exterior into the floors that have the elevators for accessibility purposes yet.
Okay.
Madam Chair, if I could
Yes.
just make a comment. So again, Patrick Maloney from Preservation Worcester. I'm here in support of the partnership with WBDC, New Garden Park, and the Worcester Art Museum. Just commenting on the murals themselves tonight. I don't think that the transformative impact of Norton Company in Worcester can be overstated. I think that the visual, if there is a visual representation of the famed Norton spirit, it is in these murals. And I think, obviously, there's a lot of discussion tonight. I don't think any of us are able to kind of predict the future and what that holds for this building and the contents, but we do have the opportunity tonight to just kind of declare the importance of these murals and their significance in our local history.
And then in addition to this, there is an art historical significance of these panels. And I'm not an Americanist, as we say in our world. Karen is, so if you would like to hear from Karen, without putting you on the spot, just some statements about that importance. I cede my chair to you.
Thank you. Yes, it's probably best to speak into the mic. In addition to the very important local connections and significance that these murals have, they also reflect broader national trends in American art history. These murals were made at a time when many companies, many public institutions, and other civic organizations were commissioning artists to create large mural cycles to decorate their buildings, to celebrate aspects of local history and culture, and businesses like Norton Industries was one such company that participated in the what's often historically known as the golden age of mural painting in America. The iconography of these murals further links Worcester's strong industrial history to national, even global patterns. If you look through the cycle of murals, you see references to where the materials were excavated in the western part of the country, how the grinding wheels that were manufactured here in Worcester were shipped all over the world. You also have representations of the labor force. That was common iconography that was celebrated in American art at that period. Again, so it reflects both national trends as well as the local men who labored in Norton Industries.
Thank you very much. I have no doubt that these will be found historically significant.
Just, if we could just touch back on the idea of the building having historic significance. While I don't think I'm opposed, I just want to reiterate my point to make sure that we understand that if we are going to preserve this building, it may not be in its complete original, stature that it is today, especially because of the codes. So assuming that the historical designation on the building of significance doesn't preclude us from doing work that typically, you would see if it had more of a historic significance through state or national. But also in terms of, and I appreciate your thinking of our future funding, knowing that the core shell of that building is, in 2019, was $40 million, knowing that the community preservation funds seek to really have a broad reach and reach multiple projects with every round, the likelihood of us coming back in for the building itself, right, with a application of between $200,000 and $500,000, I'm not sure that, I can't think of a project right now that would fit into that category of cost that would make sense to apply to the community preservation. I feel like to save the building is going to require a very probably complicated capital stack of funding with a lot of grant dollars in it. Not that this is insignificant, but I recognize that if this designation does get granted and we are successful in our community preservation application this January, we would then be seeking again, to come back in, and just wondering what that likelihood would be. So I just want to be sensitive to the fact that there's a lot of applications out there, that size of a grant would be a small part of a very large and difficult capital stack, and just want to be sensitive to the commission's efforts in distributing funds. So I'm not sure we would come back in, though I do appreciate the effort, and just think it's going to be a large capital stack to fill.
Right, thank you. I just feel strongly that we should probably find the entire building with the murals historically significant for any funding in the future. It would just save a step. And I understand CPC is probably not going to be a large complement to the amount of money that would be needed, but it may help in the marketing of the building to state that it's been found historically significant, and that there may be other funding out there to renovate a historic building. 50/50 doesn't sound, it doesn't sound terrible, it doesn't sound great, but anything we can do to try to save this beautiful building and the murals, I think we should try to do that. I'm not sure if there are other buildings on the property that may also be historically significant, but those aren't before us tonight. I don't know, Michelle, if you are aware. I believe a lot of the buildings have already come down. Is that correct?
It is correct, except for this, what we're calling Quadrant 4, which is listed in the MOA with a plan that shows buildings along West Boylston Street, which were identified primarily because of their scale and windows, and window style in particular. Those have incredible proximity to very close proximity to the rail. We are attempting to keep those for light industrial buildings. There is a building along New Bond Street that connects the administration building to this series of buildings along West Boylston Street. Those will have to come down in order to provide access into that part of the site, both for parking as well as public safety and deliveries and things like that. Those are, I would say, less representative of more traditional manufacturing, very few windows, very linear. So that section of building will have to come down in order to just make the site work and make it accessible to future tenants and end users. But that is our goal. It'll be a project unto itself in order for
I'm
us
sure.
to
So-
find.
All right. Can we schedule a status hearing then?
Yes.
And we'll talk about more of this in detail in the future?
Yes.
That would be great. And for now, I think that we should take a vote. We do not need to open this to public comment?
I'll leave it to your discretion, but you don't need to. No, it's not a public hearing.
Okay. Then I would recommend that we make a motion for the determination of local historical significance for the administrative building and the murals at St. Cobain, Norton.
The commission finds that the 10 Norton Company murals and the administrative building is historically significant in the areas of A and C, and for the purposes of application for Community Preservation Act funding.
Thank you.
Seconded.
And on that motion, I'm going to go ahead and ask Erica to unmute.
Yes.
Commissioner Helnarski, yes. Commissioner Andre?
Yes.
Commissioner Santos Restivo?
Yes.
Commissioner Northway?
Yes.
Commissioner Burnett?
Yes.
Commissioner Thierman?
Yes.
Chair Long?
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And moving on to the next request for historical significance is St. Peter's at 857 Main Street. Is the applicant here or online?
And so, through you, Madam Chair, I see Paul Richard is online. I'm going to go ahead and ask him to unmute. Paul, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Very good. Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Paul. So I understand you need to, you need some funding for windows in the back building, is that correct?
That is correct.
Is there a reason that you didn't ask for historical significance for the whole property?
The main building itself, excuse me, is in good condition. It's the addition that was constructed in 1954, which we designate as the O'Neill Building, whose windows are porous and really need to be replaced. It's been some time since those have been touched. In fact, we're still trying to uncover documentation that will tell us what the original materials were for those windows.
Okay, thank you for doing that. I would suggest that we find the entire property historically significant, especially since the original building, although you say it's in good condition, and glad to hear it, dates back even farther and
Yes.
is certainly more significant to the city of Worcester.
Absolutely.
Okay,
In fact, we're looking forward to celebrating our 105th anniversary in 2026.
wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
So I would suggest that we make a motion for finding local historical significance for both buildings on the property at 857 Main Street.
And through you, Madam Chair, it's my recommendation that the buildings are found eligible under A and C only. That they do note some notable individuals who attended the high school, but they didn't, their attendance at the high school isn't necessarily linked to their greatest accomplishments. So I would nix that and just keep A and C.
A and C is good.
Correct, although we'd like to think that they were inspired during their time at St. Peter's.
course.
Definitely, but.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The commission finds that 857 Main Street, all the buildings located at that address are historically significant in the areas of A and C for the purpose of the application for Community Preservation Act funding.
Seconded.
And on that motion, Commissioner Halnarski,
Yes.
Commissioner Andre,
Yes.
Commissioner Santos Restivo,
Yes.
Commissioner Northway,
Yes.
Commissioner Burnett,
Yes.
Commissioner Thierman,
Yes.
Chair Long.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're grateful.
Thanks, Paul. Merry
Thank you.
Christmas.
Have a good evening.
Yep.
And the next one we have is 22 Elm Street. And do we have the partitioner online?
I'm not sure. Is anybody here for, oh, yep, I see a raised hand. Can you speak?
Hello, good evening. My name is Brian Wynn. Hope everybody's having a good night. I'm a project manager from the Plan Office for Urban Affairs, and we are requesting the historic determination for 22 Elm Street in connection with the CPA funding that we anticipate to complete in a few weeks. The building, as you've seen, we are proposing to, it's a redevelopment, converting the building into a 22 home ownership condominium for households with or at below 80% area median income.
Okay, thank you. I noticed that some windows, especially on the first floor, the arched windows have been changed recently to black vinyl.
Yes, that's correct. As one of the challenges, as you can imagine, some of these older buildings, to find the replacement windows to have, similar materials and configuration, it's really been challenging. And our team, we did our best in terms of finding replacement windows that matches the prior windows.
So through you, Madam Chair, to the members of the commission, I did go up to the site today and get photographs. I was having a hard time getting the photographs from my phone off of my phone. I don't know if I had a problem with Wi-Fi, but I kept trying to email them to myself and I wasn't able to. But just so you can imagine, they look exactly like the white ones, but they're black. So originally, the building had windows that looked like this. So they were wooden, they had a couple courses of arches. There are some existing existing windows that have been bricked in at the site. So I don't know if you saw in your packet for this, there are original windows behind brick that have been bricked in, and that's what they used to look like, and now they look like these white vinyl windows, but are black instead, just so you can kind of picture them in your head.
And the original windows that have been bricked in, they are still there and available to be used, correct?
They are bricked in, but not available for use.
Why not?
From the interior, they would not be operable just for safety concerns.
So through you, Madam Chair, to the applicant, what the chair is asking is why you can't take those windows and put them where you put the inappropriate windows on the first floor where you have the black vinyl windows right now. Because you were supplied with historic photos that showed what the original windows looked like, but I'm not sure why you didn't have new windows custom made to match what was there before. But could you explain why you chose to just basically replicate the white vinyl windows in black?
Yeah, I think the decision was really stemming from the buildings in the area, particularly the larger building, One Chestnut, where it's more modernized. And so we thought the black would match and be more consistent, modernize the building, and also, fit in with the current
So
neighborhood.
through the chair, do you understand that you're asking for money for a historic preservation grant? We're not, the purpose of it is not to modernize the building. So I think what the commission is looking for is a reason why you chose modern windows when you're going for historic preservation funding. And then obviously you have windows in the building that do match the originals, and she's asking you if they can be placed where you have the new black vinyl windows right now.
I think the condition of the existing windows would not be able to be utilized for the new windows.
Do you know this, that the existing condition cannot be utilized? I mean, there are specialists that repair historic windows. The whole point of CPC funding is for the preservation of historic buildings. It's not to modernize them.
Can I ask a
I
question?
think our intent, yeah.
I assume the original windows are wood, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, correct, yeah.
Okay, so if you wanted black windows, you could just paint them black if you put the wood windows there. They don't have to be painted white.
Yeah, I believe the team, just based on the condition of the windows, we made a decision to go with the new windows.
So I think the question is, then why are you going for a historic preservation grant? If historic preservation isn't really the purpose of your project.
Well, I think it is, because we are, preserving the building, that we think is, in accordance with its historic features and characteristics. The buildings, have aged, and we are, bringing it back to life.
So the whole point of restoring a historic building is maintaining those historic features such as the windows.
And so
Correct.
through
And
the
I
chair,
think that's
I will also point out that when you first came to the planning division for this project, we did supply you with historic images that showed what the historic windows looked like. So I'm just wondering why when you had those, if you knew, down the road you might want to go for a historic preservation grant, why you would choose non-historically appropriate windows.
I think our decision to go with the CPA, it's as you know, the project in construction. I think we certainly experience, with older buildings, structural challenges as well as exterior challenges with the additions of the buildings, and there is a budget gap with the project, and this is our approach and our thought and thinking in terms of, helping to close our gap, budget gap. I think the historic certainly has been important for us in terms of, redevelopment of the building in that sense, but in terms of seeking, historic resources, through this channel, it wasn't, originally contemplated here for this project. So
you do have an opportunity now, luckily, you still have some windows. Will you, can you commit to making sure that you do remedy the issues that you've caused with the vinyl windows that are in place? Because, I mean, this isn't something that happened in the 70s or 80s. This happened in the past couple of weeks.
Right. You referring to the two arch windows that's on the front facade?
At least the two, so on the first floor, those two arched windows. And then also, I don't have it included, but the arched, it's a curved set of windows on number 20 Elm Street. Those don't even, that's smaller than the original configuration. So it looks like you fit a smaller configuration of windows into the originally larger opening. So that is another thing that we might want to look at, because you have to understand when you're going for money for CPC, everything that you do has to meet the Secretary of the Interior standards for historic rehabilitation. So, I mean, from my point of view, as the liaison to the Historical Commission, you've already done a lot of work that doesn't meet the SOI standard, and then you're coming to the Historical Commission to say, fill in our gap.
Yes, I understand your comments.
So for the vote, for the commission to find that these buildings retain historical significance, can you commit to changing those windows, at least on the first level, back to something that is appropriate for this building?
Yeah, I think we can, our team can definitely look into this, and, I can get back to you.
All right, then we'll probably put off the vote for tonight until you can research this a little bit and get back to us. Let us know if those windows that are available in the building can be reused.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so just to be clear, I'm not sure if you need this vote for CPC today, because it sounds like the commission is not willing to take that vote until you're ready to commit to either putting in new custom-made windows on the first floor or moving the windows from elsewhere in the building to the first floor, but we can certainly hold off until January 8th to give you some time to do some research.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yep. All right, so being that it's not, well, you can go ahead and take a vote to continue discussion until January 8th.
All right, then I'll make a motion to postpone this discussion until the next meeting, January 8th.
Second.
And on that motion, Commissioner Holnarski?
Yes.
Commissioner Andre?
Yes.
Commissioner Santos Restivo?
Yes.
Commissioner Northway?
Yes.
Commissioner Burnett?
Yes.
Commissioner Thierman?
Yes.
Chair Long?
Yes. Thank you very much. All right.
Thank you.
Are we going back to item 1 or no?
So through you, Madam Chair, I do not see, hold on a second. I do see somebody with a raised hand. No, I don't see anybody else on the meeting. So you can go ahead and take a vote to continue discussion on 266 Webster Street to January 8th with a revised constructive grant deadline of January 23rd.
Are these gentlemen here for?
I thought we just did that.
No, 266 Webster Street.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay, item number 1.
All right, so I'll make a motion for 266 Webster Street to be continued to the January 8th with a constructive deadline, grant deadline of 1/23.
So moved. Second, sorry.
And on that motion, Commissioner Helnarski,
Yes.
Commissioner Andre,
Yes.
Commissioner Santos Restivo,
Yes.
Commissioner Northway,
Yes.
Commissioner Gutierrez Lavode,
Yes.
Commissioner Thurman,
Yes.
Chair Long.
Yes. And did everybody have a chance to look at the set of minutes we have for November, oops, sorry, hold on,
November 20th.
November 20th?
Please
I
tell me
didn't get to.
yes. You didn't get
I
to?
didn't
How
get
many
to.
people did? Okay, good. You
I
don't,
did.
you did, Erica?
I did, yeah.
Okay, so
All right, then I'll make a motion to accept the minutes. Oh, does anybody have any changes to the meeting minutes?
No.
And so Commissioner Burnett doesn't get to vote, and Anna doesn't get to vote, and you don't get to vote, so it's you four and Erica. Okay, so if I can have a motion on that?
All right, then I will make a motion to accept the minutes for November 20th as written.
Second.
And on that motion, Commissioner Helnarski,
Yes.
Commissioner Gutierrez Lavode,
Yes.
Commissioner Northway,
Yes.
Commissioner Thurman,
Yes.
Chair Long.
Yes. And that's it? All right. I will make a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
Aye.
And Merry Christmas.